Gordie
You big moose.
and
The
Wilhelm
grumpy gnome.
in the morning.
Well, hey there, I'm Gordie.
And I'm Wilhelm. Good morning.
And welcome to another episode of Gordie and WIllhelm in the morning.
How you doing this morning, bud?
Yeah. I didn't have another cup of Joe yet, and waiting for that to kick in. Why am I still doing the Gordie voice? I don't know.
You got me like pushed way over to the side of my window. What is that about?
Oh, God, don't. Just. Okay, fine. Whatever. When I was doing the overlay, you went to go get coffee, so it's not my fault,
Oh.
but it is my fault because you were back like 6 minutes before I started the show, so.
Well, I can move a little bit too. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, what you been up to, man? What's your week been like?
Well, other than being sicker than a dog, last night was pretty fun and scary.
Nah, last night was easy.
And I guess we can actually talk about that because it has no bearing on the actual story of the module.
Well, that's true.
So, long story short, a level 3 party fought and killed a Cyclops. Don't know how.
Some people getting some good rolls.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a paladin get a crit.
Yep.
I think Don got a crit. Lip got a crit, maybe.
Yeah, Lim definitely got a crit, yeah. Yeah, I think
So
good rolls is... Well, everybody rolled good except Creon. Creon did absolutely nothing that fight.
yeah, but you know he looked good doing it. So
Yeah, well, I'll give you that.
I just got to remember, frickin'. I keep forgetting that I have a longbow, so I have a much longer range. I always think that I have to get closer
Yeah.
for my ranged attacks, and so then I get pummeled by a giant boulder.
Yeah, that looked mean. What'd you take, like fucking 26 points of damage?
22.
22, yeah.
Yep. And my max right now is 28.
Ooh!
But luckily I had shifted, so I had 5 temporary HP.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I was down to 11, and then ate some good berries, and then Undrul gave me some healing, so I actually maxed back out. But
Mm-hmm. Yep. Knife. You know, you were... Didn't you crit too? You had a nice crit in there.
I did have a crit, but I rolled super low on damage.
Oh, well.
So
The Vine, right. Okay, yeah, my bad, Stu. It was the Vine he crit on. The Assassin Vine.
yeah, I thought he crit against the Cyclops too, but
Yeah.
that's pretty good though, because everybody. I mean, I ended up with the highest initiative. I'm like, y'all got 2 seconds. Are we running or fighting? And it was just dead silence. I'm like, what? I'm up first. What do you guys want me to do?
Well, it's the eternal question. Do you go for the ridiculous amount of XP, or do you live?
Yeah.
I mean, we were fixing to run. We were. And then
Yeah.
Tim said it the best. If everyone wants to be the one to stay behind to let the party escape, it's just a fight.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that was good. Because Limp went back. Dawn went back. Fucking... Yeah. Well, we were going to run, and everyone was going to... Limp said,
Yeah.
no, Mike... Yeah, as soon as Limp went in, yeah.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, what we know from Limp's character, I mean, he would absolutely stay behind
Yeah.
and try to help everybody get out of there. So, I mean, it's very true.
Yeah.
But then you have a bunch of other party members like, well, we can't let him do this alone.
Yeah.
So,
God damn. I was hoping one of us would be the asshole, like, peace!
I'm out.
Hop on the Triceratops and just bounce.
Yeah.
See you back at Point Naranzaru. Oh shit, I forgot to mute my phone. I'm an asshole.
Yeah, and then Moose Sharif was like, well, they're normally peaceful.
Yeah.
And Stu was like, well, he went first. We all had our weapons sheathed. And Tim was like, no.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
No, we all had our shit out, and then he tried to cast command, and then he got enraged, and
Yeah.
I cracked a joke, which Brian took to the next level. I said,
about him coming home with groceries?
yeah. I said,
Yeah.
homie's just going, and sure enough, Tim added a satchel that on the Cyclops full of food. Like, oh god, we're dicks.
That was funny.
So now, Stu mentioned taking the skull and making a helmet for Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about it last night. I'm like, that could work in two ways. Number one, if we roll up onto like a goblin tribe or a lycanthrope tribe or something. He got back from Baldermark. Get out, Bandhammer, mods. No, I'm kidding. If we come across like a goblin tribe or anything like that, they see us rolling up with a Cyclops skull, they're gonna like, okay, don't fuck with these guys, right?
Right.
But if we come across a peaceful civilization, or and they see us rolling up with a Cyclops skull, like, what the hell? What are you doing killing a Cyclops? They're peaceful, and then all of a sudden we look like the assholes.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, you take somebody who's got the higher skill and ability for either persuasion or deception, and it's a matter of convincing folks that, how do you know we killed it? Maybe we just happened to find it, and it was already dead, and we just thought the skull would look cool on our Triceratops.
Okay, you helm that shit, because I want to see how that goes.
I said somebody who's good at persuasion. I'm surrounded. I have scorpions crawling all over my body. Okay, like constantly moving. You think anybody's gonna like take a second to listen to anything I have to say?
That'd be awesome. Like you see an orphan hungry in the street, you go and hand him a chunk of bread. All of a sudden, there's like 3 scorpions on your wrist. Ah!
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I don't know. I'm gonna try to have fun with that though.
Yeah.
Thematically and RP and that kind of stuff. I'm just like, taking individual little scorpions out here and there and setting them on Creon's shoulders while he's trying to ritually cast Identify.
Dick. Oh yeah, I guess we should talk about what brought that on. Creon and Pandinus' side adventures and randomly eating shit.
What are you talking about?
When we went in the bush to try to find incense recipes.
Oh! Those side adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually like the way Tim's doing that.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I tried the fire ash, and I kind of felt like it wasn't gonna work, but I thought, well, I mean, maybe, just by chance. Yeah, so Creon lost Orn, his Arctic fox, familiar.
Poor puppy.
And so he's been lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And we're out in the middle of the Chultan jungle, so there's not a 7-Eleven anywhere nearby to go get incense.
No Baldermart around, no.
Yeah. So Creon came up with the idea, or Ty came up with the idea for Creon to be able to attempt to find the ingredients necessary to create incense. And so Tim literally looked up what incense is made of, and Creon was too scared to go out into the jungle by himself and look for this stuff, so he dragged Pandinus along.
Yes.
So, tell him about our first outing. Since it's my embarrassment, you can tell the story.
Yeah, we, Tim was describing how we came across, I believe at that point it was some of the herbs required. But there's still a lot of steps into making incense. But he says you also come across, he described a tree with some fruit hanging off of it. And he said there's two particular ones. It had like a really thick rind with almost like a coconut shell, the fur on it. And he said there's two in the tree. And then us being like, hey, cool food. So we picked them and, cut them open. And on the inside it was like an orange flesh, so similar to oranges. So, cheers to your health. Blew a little cold on it to make an orange slushy and down the hatch. Rolled Constitution saving throws. Creon passed. Pandinus did not.
Yeah.
And proceeded to do a scorpion mating dance as a humanoid. And Creon's like, yeah, we're friends, but I don't feel the same way, dude. And then
It's called dancing monkey fruit.
Dancing monkey fruit, yeah.
Yep.
So then, and then you ended up with the poison condition for an hour. We get back to the camp.
Well, actually, it didn't last for an hour.
No.
It only lasted for about 10 or 15 minutes because of Stormbringer.
Yeah, he lay on hand. Boop, you're good.
Yep.
So, and Tim said, we felt kind of sick in the stomach, eh? So we get back, and I think Dawn ate some, but passed the save, no problem.
Yeah, pass the save, killer.
Yeah, and then Odad now has some of the seeds that we can maybe fuck around with later and try to screw with random people. So then our guide was pissed, like, you hired me to guide you in the jungle. I could tell you what these fruits are. Don't eat shit you find. We did 2 more times. What was it? The corkscrew parsnip that gives temporary HP. The Kyath root.
Actually,
Ryath
I have
root?
it. Ryath, I think. Yeah, Ryath.
The Ryath root. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it looks kind of like a parsnip, but it's when you pull it out of the ground, the root itself is spiraled like a corkscrew.
Yeah. So that ended up giving Creon temp HP. And then Odad was like, well, I wish I could have the seeds from that. I'm like, well, I ate it 24 hours ago.
Yeah, and that one's a root vegetable, so I'm not. How do you? I guess you just take because root vegetables you can take a snipping and replant.
Mm-hmm.
But you ate the whole thing, so we couldn't even get a snipping of it.
Well, he said it's either an all or nothing deal to find out what it does, and
Yep.
so we explained what it was that we found to the guide. He explained what it was, got mad at us again. Then the third time we found a bunch of fucking berries. And we're like, you find 23 berries. Okay, you ate one first. Nothing.
Yep.
Okay.
Then it was 5 each.
Yep. Nothing. 5 more. And then he says, okay. You guys are, what was it, immune to the poison and disease condition?
No, it's an advantage on saving throws against poison for 24 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and those are the sendaberries. So we found 23. We each ate 10. So we gave the other 3 to Odad.
Yeah.
So he could use those again, like seeds and stuff. So
Yeah.
And Musharib got mad again. Quit eating shit. Bring it to me. Let me tell you what it is.
But it's like, God, when especially Tim, right? He puts us in these situations because he knows
He knows.
Yeah, there's a big red button. Do you press it?
Yep. Repeatedly.
Oh, God. Yeah, he knows this way too well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's put up with our shenanigans for a year now, so.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, that one, so we moved south, so in our next game, we should hit the river. I mean, I'm trying to remember the map in my head, hex-wise.
Yeah.
So our next day, we should cover the river.
Yeah.
And if we can get across the river, I don't remember if Righteous is 1 hex below the river or 2 hexes below the river. Is it 2?
I'm pretty sure it's 2, yeah.
But we should be able to see it from the river.
Maybe. It depends how big it is.
Yeah.
But
I know, I mean, that's our current goal is to get to Righteous.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think, head to Vengeance so that we can get Undril where she's wanting to go. And I think Vengeance will be our... And I'm spitballing here, I'm just guessing, but I think Vengeance might be a decent resupply point.
I friggin' hope so.
So...
Knowing what we know now, we could definitely use a resupply, because then we know what we're... Yeah, barrels, yeah. Strap some barrels to Grayson and pick up more water skins.
Yep. Well, and even things like your incense and the bug repellent and salve, and so hopefully Vengeance, and it's you're talking another week-ish, I believe, before we get to Vengeance, so.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I really love about what we're doing in this campaign, because it feels kind of legitimate, right? Like, you got a bunch of people from the Sword Coast who know nothing about the jungle, and one person that actually kind of knows about the jungle, like, grew up there. So we had an idea of what to prep for, so we weren't completely caught off guard. But now that we're in the thick of it, we learned, oh shit, yeah, we need this, you know? So you actually, our characters are learning, like, okay, next time we find civilization, we got a freaking shopping list.
Yeah. Well, and I grew up in the jungle, but it was 100 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, my era in the jungle was like Spell Plague era.
Yeah.
So, a lot's changed. So,
just a little bit.
I mean, all of the buildings, what are now classified as ruins and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. The Chilton Jungle was never a thriving community of, whatever, but I mean, everything that I used to know, it's all gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I can't wait to... Thanks, gorgeous. I just can't wait to have, like, some Indiana Jones style Tomb Raider, going into some of these crazy forgotten ruins. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, until one of us dies to, like, a blow dart trap or something stupid.
Well, speaking of adventures, you made the comment that for this morning's show, our main topic, if you will, being what is an adventure. I believe you even used a big word this morning. You used the word quintessential.
Quintessential. Yeah. I can Google too, I know all the best words. No, I'm not doing that. So I just, especially with what's going on, like, it's probably not going to be for a couple sessions, but, shut up, Sing. With what's going on in the campaign and what's on the horizon, what's been teased at, the Island of Mintarn, the Vision and Gold, the Mad Drake, and whatnot. a lot of us have been wondering what's it's going to entail and this and that, and going to try to find, when you sit back and you think gathering up your adventuring party and actually going on this big quest to areas you're not familiar with, to people you're not familiar with, you know, what's that entail and feel like? Like, what are some of the, I guess, a checklist of things you want to see in a real exploration adventure? You know what I mean? Like, what would you think of that you would check off?
For me, and I guess it's just because of the way my brain works, for me it actually goes back to, or it would start at the why, right? So like, say for my character, why am I going in this direction? Whatever that direction is, why am I going there? Because I think that plays a big role in how you attempt to build that party out. So,
so you're saying, sorry, just the big overarching mission, I guess. You need that one
right.
big overall why we're in this area kind of thing.
Right. So, I mean, let's take, these are the characters that are known. So let's take, excuse me, WIllhelm, right?
Mm-hmm.
WIllhelm, when he left Harua and he began heading north, you know, he went through Baldur's Gate and he's been to Waterdeep and stuff, but there was, he had no real mission or goal, right? He was traveling, trying to increase his skill in tinkering, selling toys here and there. Got lonely at one point, created Misfit, but then found his way to, I guess we started in Phandalin, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he made his way to this town and then had, you know, saw all these other adventurers, and listening to their stories, and because he had traveled for so many years by himself, the idea of having friends or having a group or having other people to do things with was interesting. And so his goal then became to make friends and to adventure and to do those, but there was still no like end goal for WIllhelm, right? Yeah. There was no, I'm trying to get to this point. So our party makeup, it just happened to be what it was, right? But if you change that up, let's say that, so like Gordie wanted to go to the Spine of the World to go see Omea. So this is where the known versus the unknown comes in. I had no idea what we were going into. You know, I didn't know that Misfit and George were going to begin to not work because they weren't made of the right kinds of metal.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things that I can't check off the checklist because I have no clue. I could have done research, I suppose. But you knew what we were going into, and so you knew what your checklist should look like, right? I need this kind of gear, I need this kind of clothing because it gets this cold or whatever. You also know that we're going into the mountains. Do we need climbing gear? Do we need snowshoes? Do we need whatever, right? So that's like the gear component of the checklist.
That's true.
The packing list, if you will. Again, Gordie knows the spine, so he has an idea of the kind of monsters we're going to run into.
Yeah.
So Gordie's a big brute, and WIllhelm can be quick, can do damage from a distance, can do damage from up close, can cast. He's not an all-in-one teammate, but a versatile teammate, right? But is one barbarian enough? Is one magic user enough? What kind of pain are we going to go through? Do we need a healer? And I guess that's how I would look at like party dynamics, if I know what we're going into. If you don't know what you're going into, I guess there's the basics that everybody talks about, which I guess is technically any MMO, RPG, whatever, right? You've got your damage dealer, you've got your DPS, you've got your healer, the basics.
Yeah, got your control. And...
Yeah, so you've got somebody to kill stuff, somebody to support the person that kills stuff, and then somebody to keep everybody alive.
Yeah.
I mean, those are your three basics, and beyond that, I guess then that's when you get creative, though, right? Your healer, do you want a druid, cleric, or paladin?
I want an inks.
If you...
Sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you don't have a barbarian, I think a paladin is a great choice to replace the barbarian because they can heal as well.
Yeah.
So, I think the biggest thing is information is key, right? It's an old saying. Information is key. The more you have, the better off you can prepare and build. The less you have, it's more of a chance, and you just do the best you can, I guess.
Absolutely. So I guess for Gordie, because I mean he adventures because he's retired and he's bored and he just wants to have some fun before he. So, and I mean chances are him adventuring is going to lead to his a lot quicker, but as we've seen, and he's come close a number of times. Yeah. So when I sit back and I think about what I want to see when I go on an adventure, right? Definitely want to meet new people, right? You want to meet like some, like you don't, not necessarily the traditional farming village or whatnot. I want to see like a different kind of community with, maybe there's a theme behind them, right? Maybe they're a mining community that came across this new ore that makes them all after processing or something, something that gives them the town a little bit of character, right? Maybe you got a community that's way too big into jerky and they have jerky competitions, and then it's a war of trying to increase the spice and the flavor profile, and people end up getting diabetes, and so I definitely want to meet new people, new communities, shake hands and make friends. And then for me, always dungeon. There's got to be, an old ruin, an abandoned mine. I'm a sucker for the classics. Definitely want to see some weird, wonky landmark, right? Whether it's a floating mountain or a reverse waterfall or something.
Yeah.
Something you could only find in that area, and then you feel like, holy shit, like, are we the first people to see this in centuries,
Yeah.
And then we get to my favorite part, the baddies. Finding some crazy-ass creature that's, been sitting there for centuries waiting for that one dipshit to come and say, let's duke it out,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Those I think are the big ones for me when I think what consists of an adventure. You want to meet the new people, and then fight some big crazy monstrosity.
Yeah, and so and I guess when I think about elements of an adventure, so I'm talking about initially the build and the party and the gear and getting ready for the adventure, and then on the adventure itself, I mean, I could definitely talk about what Wilhelm would want, and then there's what Matt would want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For myself personally, I mean, I agree with you. Like, I do like exploration. I like discovering new things, and I like meeting new people. And I guess because I've played MMOs for so long, there's, going back to that overarching goal, right? There's the end goal that the party has, and so you have this main quest that you have to go from this town to this town to this town and talk to these different people that push you along that main quest.
Yeah.
But there's always side jobs to do along the way.
Best part.
Yeah, and so that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy. As far as Wilhelm specifically, though, and I guess I kind of got away from this from when we played online because the character development capabilities and stuff weren't exactly there. And so what I kind of wanted for Wilhelm got put on the back burner. But I mean, Tyler is absolutely, the whole Mechalich art was phenomenal. But if somebody were to ask me what else is it, or what other things would Wilhelm like to see, I mean, anything that's clockwork, anything that involves artifice or tinkering or, you know, cogs and gears. In ESO, anything like the dwarven culture is basically ancient and almost extinct in ESO. But anything that you find, any dwarven structures, they're ruins and they're almost all buried. But anytime you go inside one, it's all clockwork. I mean, there's gears and cogs, and there's constructs that you have to fight, animated constructs and stuff.
And they're all still working.
Yeah. So, like, say in the Moose Water Tales, like if we were to find some ancient, buried, dwarven, or actually, I guess dwarven or gnomish, underground, abandoned city kind of thing that was just all clockwork and stuff, I'd be in heaven, dude. like, you know what? I'm just, y'all can leave me here. Come back and get me in a couple years.
Yeah. I was going to say, give me a century or two.
Yeah. But also, too, some things that I want to do, and I've been able to do a little bit of it, but I want to do more. And that's creating those tiny constructs, like the jewelry boxes that I used to trade in Waterdeep.
Yeah.
And creating those little things like that so that when we do travel and we do meet new people, you know, there's some child that's running around the street, and you know how like, you know, this new group comes into town and you get this group of kids that just clamor around you, you know, be like, oh, look, it's new people, and they always at you or whatever, you know. So to be able to pull out a couple toys that I made and hand it to the kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what Wilhelm would do. So yeah, that's kind of some stuff I'm looking forward to being able to do. And I think that doing that, hopefully, will possibly counterbalance my current morality dilemma.
Oh god, yeah. But I mean, and that's how you make new adventures, right? That kid's always going to remember that little gnome that wandered into town with his big, fierce adventuring party. You know, what's this little gnome doing with all these badasses? And he pulls out these mechanical marbles. They see this walking construct misfit that's super friendly. You know, maybe they see the defense of the village and they see this little gnome dishing it out and freaking protecting them just as much as all these, you know, what, especially from a kid's perspective, right? Like, you know, they see a Gurren and like, oh yeah, that guy,
yeah,
you know, he's the badass, right? And then they see the gnome like, oh, what are you gonna do? And then they actually see you defending the town like, oh, that's what he's doing. Okay.
Yeah, you figure most of the kids are taller than me, so
yeah. Then they see you standing on top of a giant moose's back with a shield cannon, annihilating zombies left, right, and center. Like, oh, I want to be that guy. So yeah, I can appreciate that. Yeah. And by the way, have you made toys for Gordie's grandkids yet?
Sure. You know, honestly, I would assume I have. I'm sure I have. And I've probably gotten Artie to help in creating toys and things like that as well.
Yeah.
Of course, he focuses a little more on his armor and being defensible and that kind of stuff. I think he's become slightly pretentious in that part, but you know.
He's still not the worst grandson that you guys have made.
No,
Fucking Jinto.
Perilous is Perilous is pretty bad.
Oh, fuck. I'm gonna get Jinto back for that one day.
Yeah. That was crazy.
An alcoholic 12-year-old riding a donkey backwards. Okay, I see you. Alright.
Yep.
What a guy. Yeah, so, I mean, definitely, before we depart to Mintarn, it might be a really good idea for Wilhelm to actually have just kind of like a bag of gifts, you know, whether it's toys for kids, or if it's like if we got to meet a dignitary or a local lord, having something to present to him or his wife, you know, especially your jewelry boxes. You present, especially that one you presented to the Temple of Gond.
Right.
You present that to a lord's wife, and okay, you can stay in my palace here. Have some rooms, you know.
Well, and I need to like physically write down a list of. I mean, I know that I don't have to get like extremely descriptive, but you know, a list of different things. And I have ideas like, you know, we have not fountain pens, but quills exist. So the loose idea of pen and ink exists.
Mm-hmm.
And I have ink from part of my background or whatever. But what about a a few inches long, slender contraption that you can actually pour ink into, and the gears and cogs just slowly work, and as you take that device and run it along parchment, the ink is allowed to leave the tip. You know what I mean?
Kind of like a precursor to a pen.
Yeah, basically. So, I mean, I want to do things like that, and then, like, you know, a little round ball that you can roll and have a button on it. When you push the button, you know, 4 little legs pop out, a little head pops up, and it, you know, runs around or whatever. Then there's the jewelry boxes, but I've thought about, because I'm not an armorer artificer, so the whole forging side of things is iffy, but what about, you know, decorative sword hilts and, you know, things like that. So,
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to try and expand those kinds of things.
Well, you could probably do a scabbard pretty easy.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, that probably wouldn't be.
Maybe like a sword sharpening scabbard. That'd be a kick-ass gift, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you put it in there, it sharpens your blade up into a point, and then when you draw it, it's good to go.
Yeah. I don't know, that sounds really familiar. Does that exist in the game already?
Not that
like
I know.
Like a magic item?
Not that I know of.
Okay, maybe I've just heard somebody say something about it before.
Because
it sounds familiar, but...
There's the oil of sharpness, I know, but...
Yeah, I think WIllhelm has a little vial of that.
Oh, shit, there you go. There you go.
So, actually, and I guess instead of using that on the artisan, take and infuse the magic of the oil into a scabbard that I made. So, yeah, there you go. Of course, you know I'm not writing any of this down.
Well, of course, no. This is what we do. We sit here bullshit about cool things to do. Then when the time comes to actually do it, we're like,
But that one I need to write down. The oil. Let's see, oil of sharpness, scabbard.
Well, same with Jinto. If you can make a quiver where if he, you know, certain X amount of times per day, if he pushes an arrow down into the quiver, it goes into a little second compartment where it's filled with poison. So he doesn't have to take his action to do it, and just poison, go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once I learn how to make my shield cannon ammunition, where I have explosive rounds, concussive rounds, or whatever, You don't think arrowheads are going to be my next?
Yeah.
Like, Gento, try this one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? The Hawkeye quiver, you're absolutely right, Say.
Yeah.
You just pull something out and... yeah.
You got to make a putty bow.
I think there's a lot of possibilities. It's just a matter of how far is too far.
Well, as long as we don't make sure it doesn't, like... And we always go for what's fun or what's cool. We don't necessarily go for game breaking.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like, for fuck's sakes, yesterday we were... Was it yesterday we were talking about the Moose Pult?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but save that. Just leave that. Drop that.
Okay.
Leave that alone.
Okay.
No more.
Fine.
Don't say any more.
Okay. Shutting up. Shutting up.
We will discuss that at a later date.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Because there's a few other things that need to happen before that. So anyway, moving on. Oh goodness.
Yeah, and I don't think, and I mean, Tyler's always down. Tyler knows how to balance our shenanigans, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, if we want something cool, he's like, okay, you get that cool thing, and I can figure out a way to make it work. And we never ask for anything unreasonable. I don't feel we do. I mean, Roberta 3's a little excessive, but...
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out the right word. We don't ask for things that are unreasonable. Absolutely ridiculous? Yes.
Oh.
We do ask for those things.
Oh, yeah.
But unreasonable? Nah.
No. Yeah, Roberta 3 is disgusting. Like, it's just...
But you know, I like the way that he balanced it though, with the great weapon master always on.
Yeah.
So you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
If you don't roll good, you don't hit. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I like that. Because I felt really bad afterwards when I got Roberta 3. I was really excited, and then I'm like, wait, is this like a broken item? Like, I'm starting to feel bad and gross about it. And Brian's like, no, dude, your hit chance went to like 50%. You're fine. I'm like, okay, I feel better.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
But when I do hit, yeah,
those 1 out of 10 hits hit hard.
Yeah. Hello, Moose is here. How's it going? Yeah. I really want to find something we can get for Nink, so like a cool little fun item. Something he could have fun with. Because, man, he fucking saves our asses so many times, and you know.
Well, but I think all you got to do is just say something to Tyler, dude. Be like, hey, look, we need to do something for Nink. Because he'll come up with something, dude.
Yeah.
And it will be designed around and created specifically for Nink's Mida.
Yeah.
So,
like, that's why I was wondering with the antler if we could make a staff for him, or you know, some kooky thing. Like with Gento, I think cool thing would be like ballista arrows, the enlargement enchantment on arrows. So as soon as he lets fly, they surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those I like. But and then Gurren, are you at all curious about what the fuck is going on with his stone gauntlet?
I guess I don't know about a stone gauntlet.
Yeah, he hinted at it. Like, during the Battle of Mirabar, if you pay attention, whenever his HP reaches certain points, there's a storm that starts around him.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Yep. And then he made a reference to a stone gauntlet that I have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Huh. Well, I mean, he went on that whole, journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's where all that comes from. And I mean, I want to play that one shot. I want that piece of Gurren's story in the Moose Water Tales canon. or I want it to be canon in the Moose Water Tales. So we definitely need to take, one of these Sundays or whatever and switch from the main game and let's run that one shot.
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think because that one will be 100% focused on Gurren, and so I think for us, we'd just be playing some kind of NPCs or something to that nature.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't know what his journey consisted of, but if he, like, went to, like, the spirit realm or something like that, we'd be playing, departed souls of ancient warriors or something like that, and then we could have really a lot of fun flavoring characters based on old warriors and stuff.
Yeah.
Ninx will probably play one of us in real life.
We've gotten a glimpse into Ninx's history.
Mm-hmm. How's Estelmar?
Yeah. Wilhelm's been done. Gordie's been done. We have the chance to get Gurren's into the Moose Water Tales, and so I don't know if we want to know Terralis's history.
I don't want to play that one shot. I don't. That's rated. I don't know what you would rate that. It's not rated R though.
Yeah, NC-17.
Oh God. But his backstory is definitely getting fleshed out in the main game, though.
Yeah, it is. So that, we don't really know much about Gento's history.
No, his. I know his parents were instructors at Strixhaven.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were instructors.
Cool.
Yeah, he was born in Strixhaven. But he was like, magic? Nah, I'm good. Yeah. And he decided to, he was kind of like the high school dropout that, decided to steal shit and shoot things. And that's why Xenos, his other character, is a wizard. He actually stayed at Strixhaven and learned from his parents, where Jinto's like, I'm out.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, and Tyler's that kind of DM. He will do his best to touch on everybody's story, give every character their own arc when he can.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were chatting the other day, the four of us, however many of us were in there, he's really eager for us to go find this damn dragon.
Yeah.
So.
Well, because as a DM, how often do you get to chuck? I'm assuming it's going to be ancient because it's fucking Tyler. So, how often do you get to chuck an ancient dragon at the party? Tyler in his incredibly nuanced and subtle style, it's not going to be as black and white as go up and beat it. So.
Well, I know we were having a conversation about it after one of our games, though. And I think it was Gento. Might have made the comment, just because you run into a dragon doesn't mean you fight it.
Exactly.
Dragons can speak.
Yeah.
And so if I remember correctly, the pieces of the story is that, like, we heard about the dragon and he's like, there's something wrong causing chaos or whatever.
Yeah,
we need to go.
He's insane.
Yeah, we need to go figure out what's going on. And so it might just be a matter of finding out what the situation is and trying to quell the situation and actually eventually befriending this ancient gold dragon.
Oh, fuck that.
Instead of having to fight it.
That would be, I think, Gordie's main goal. Because there's nothing cooler than inviting a buddy over for coffee. You're all sitting outside around the campfire having coffee, and all of a sudden, a wind's like a hurricane as an ancient gold dragon lands. And then just...
What's up?
Yeah.
Just up, yeah.
Yeah, whoops down into a human, casually sits down, everybody's just like... And then Gordie and WIllhelm, oh yeah, this is Dave. Yeah, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just sitting here thinking too, we talked about the Can we invite Knight to tag along?
Absolutely, as Matt would say.
Yeah, Knight would be absolutely just in complete awe. Um, but so again, not to give too much away, but some upcoming things where we talked about landing pads. And so could you imagine people like, that's not an airship. That's not so
Yeah, you got lesser, some of the newer adventurers joining the brigade, just scattering to the four winds, and the people that have been there a while, like, oh yeah, there's Dave, picking up his barrel of whiskey.
It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's just Dave.
Oh fuck, we have to nickname it Dave now. Oh my god.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't care what its name is. It could have this big, like, Alaskler Bambastos or some fancy name. Nah, Dave.
We'll just look at each other and go, he said Dave, right? Is that what you heard? You heard Dave?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're just going to call him Dave.
That might be the point where we break Tyler and he just chucks a meter at us.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Well, he did. I think he said he was going to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So there's a chance that he may see this before we have that game.
Oh, God.
So...
yeah, he's going to watch this. Okay, you motherfuckers. All right.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
Yeah. Either that, or if he does watch this before we play that, he'll probably come up with come up with some weird name. His name's Tom, so it's like super easy, and there's absolutely no reason for us to change it to Dave.
Oh fuck.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, Jimbo. Yeah. He's coming right for us.
Oh, if we meet an ancient Go Dragon and he has like a Mississippi slang accent, oh, it's absolutely going to be Jimbo that day. 100%.
Oh God, why? You ever notice that the folks around Moose Water, like, people play D&D, they're looking for Lord of the Rings. Not us. We're looking for the Family Guy episode based off of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. We have too much fun.
Well, I don't know if that's such a thing, but...
No, I wouldn't trade our group for anything. Fuck. Well, shit, for an episode where we're like, what the fuck are we going to talk about? I think we did all right, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we titled it, What is an Adventure? And I think we hit several different elements of adventuring.
Yep.
Kind of what we feel it is and, kind of how to prepare for one. And then some examples of what you might find on an adventure. Like an ancient Go Dragon named Jimbo.
Holy fuck.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, that's the highlight of my weekend right there. Yeah, what do you figure? Wrap her up?
Yeah. Real quick announcement too. I know that we talked about it a little bit last week when we actually had Tyler on the show. He's talking about opening up some more slots during the week and stuff. So he did get his Lancer. He got that group made. I haven't forgotten, Kyle, I promise. He got his Lancer group together. They're going to be playing Wednesday nights. And so he's I'm trying to get him to run a decent time on Monday because I have something to do on Tuesday nights. Mm-hmm. But if he can create a decent time slot for Monday nights, then per our conversation the other day, he's considering a version, I suppose, of Cyberpunk. So that's something that I'm excited for. I played Cyberpunk way back in the day. And so, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully that'll turn out. Hopefully it'll be Monday nights. Yeah, we'll go from there. I mean, everybody, if you want to come join us, I mean, there's games pretty much every night, Sunday through Saturday.
Yep, it's getting to that point now. Yep.
Yeah, and then they're all run out of the Discord. I told you, don't work all the time. Take some days off. But yeah, they're all run out of the Discord. So yeah. But before we go, quick question for you, sir.
Yeah, what's up?
What do you call a monk who has a philosophy degree?
I don't know. What do you call a monk with a philosophy degree?
A deep fryer.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here at Gordie and WIllhelm in the morning. God damn it!
Love you, buddy.
Ah! Fuck, I didn't even have a moose joke prepared. Next week, I'm getting you back. Moose jokes.
We'll see.
Fuck.
All right, buddy. We'll take her easy, and I'll write you later today.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of Gordie and WIllhelm in the morning. Jingle.